The worst character assassination I've ever seen. I think this is Street Fighter. I don't know, but let's jump into it.
Alex Winger is a humble wrestler hailing from New York City, whose parents were taken from him at a young age.
Damn.
He was adopted by a man named Tom, who was a friend of his father and later would become his mentor and personal trainer.
Yes,
Alex was originally intended to replace Ryu as a protagonist when he was first introduced
Okay, it is Street Fighter. It is. Okay, good to know.
with the Street Fighter 3 sub-series in 1997. The trilogy takes place long after Street Fighter
okay,
2,
see.
and a good chunk of 2's roster isn't present. Due to these reasons, and also lack of sales, every Street Fighter game up until Street Fighter 6 takes place before Street Fighter 3. Yeah,
What? What? No, repeat that to me.
isn't present. Due to these reasons, and also lack of sales, every Street Fighter game up until Street Fighter 6 takes place before Street Fighter 3. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this timeline either. Despite this, since Street Fighter 3, he's been a well-beloved and respected character who has a lot going on for himself in the lore. He scores a win against Balrog, Gil, goes toe-to-toe with Ryu, and after all that, gets to go home to his adoptive dad and little sister,
Okay.
Patricia! The picture I'm trying to...
Why are you mad? What are you mad? What happened? What was everyone thinking that's his shorty or something? Serious question. Chat.
Pain here is of a character who, on top of having a cool design and some intriguing lore,
When they flip and roll and start to crawl away,
Don't ask. Let me mute it.
taped nappies can
Okay, let's mute it. Don't want to get caught. I didn't have premium this month. Okay, don't be mad. Dang it, man. Let me skip this. I might not let me see this in the channel or whatever. Nothing. Let's watch another one. Okay, cool. Twitch is okay with it. I'm gonna have to cut that out when I'm reacting to it on YouTube. Okay, I'm back.
had a random ass Hiroshima bomb dropped on his whole reputation. It wasn't until after they hyped his release to Hell and Back that Alex is revealed to have married and impregnated Patricia. And
What? Who wrote this question? Who wrote this, bro? English. Oh.
look, it sounds bad, but I don't think
It is bad. It is.
We understand how bad this is. Tom took me in after my folks died. Tom is a cousin of my mom and friend of my dad. They're just about the best kids you could ask for a dad. He is my trainer, manager, and adoptive dad. No, he is my dad. Nigga, what? The worst part is not the incest. Wait, no, let me finish. The worst part is even if they would retcon the incest, which Street Fighter is not a stranger to retcons.
Please do retcon this. Retcon this. I'll move on to the other things I have retcon in the series. I'll move on, but retcon this, please.
Oh, trust me. It would still be weird as hell. For just about 30 years, they've been portrayed as siblings. Not blood siblings, but adoptive siblings. For some reason, in Street Fighter 6, they made it so that they were cousins, which wasn't a thing. Even if they removed that, Patricia is still someone that Alex grew up with, to the point where he literally held her as an infant. I've seen some interesting fighting game characters in my day, all right? We've talked about quite a few here on the Toonari channel. But this might actually be the worst fighting game lore I've ever seen in my life. Noob and Nakali are in a similar boat where they will always be the secondary villain that neither the primary villain nor the antagonist align with. In other words, doomed to fail. Except Bihan is crucial to the lore of Mortal Kombat and has been since the very beginning, whilst Nakali was in one Street Fighter game and one Street Fighter only. Nina's targets are primarily the Mishimas, the main characters of the franchise who aren't going anywhere, and is also the prime example of pretty privilege with her fine ass. In other words, doomed to fail. With Alex, nothing was really wrong with him prior. Somebody was just in the writing room like, I'm about to fuck up this man's whole career. His lore is not
True, they did. His reputation is in the Just rule it.
Worse than any other Street Fighter character because of something that has nothing to do with the overall story of Street Fighter. The romance.
Nah, the art style's different. That's a whole different writer. I need to go through the end credits of those two different games. Who the fudge directed that one?
Aspect of Alex's story has never been a thing before Street Fighter 6.
What do you mean?
Nigga, how hard is it to write a story about niggas fighting? You had to make it about incest? I think I'd rather lose every single fight I've ever been in. I think I'd rather have no flaws. Jokes aside, I feel like they maybe they missed a step where they look at this entire concept on paper and think, is this steaming pile of dog shit something that we should introduce to a character whose reputation has been solid for like the past 30 years? And apparently him being a husband to his second cousin and sister isn't enough. He also has to be a bum-ass dad on top of it. This nigga got the player doing random-ass errands for his baby because it's not his thing. You gonna have to buy your little cousin them diapers, bro. By the way, do you remember when I said Street Fighter is not a stranger to retcons? Well, what do you know? I'm not gonna bore you with the specifics, but the Japanese version basically avoids their sibling relationship entirely. So the Street Fighter 3 story is no longer canon. The part of Alex's lore that people actually like is not a thing anymore. Now it's retcon so that Alex never really grew up with Tom and Patricia, at least not to the extent that would give reason to the assumption that they are siblings. And Tom wasn't enough of a role model or father figure in Patricia's life, so Alex had to be the one to protect her. As if that's supposed to be heartwarming. Now Tom is just LARPing as LTG. Tom wasn't a good enough father, so that makes Alex Patricia's stepfather, husband, and cousin. As for Tom being a cousin of Alex's mom, that's probably still a thing, or it just wasn't mentioned at all. Look, I don't know, man. This...
Out of all the retcons you could do, you chose that one to make it even worse now. Street Fighter. I know your story's not there. And when is the movie coming out? Is he there? Is he there in the movie? I need to check.
This is the first time I've ever seen an emergency patch for lore in a game, and I'm not even exactly sure what it's fixing. You can't unfuck his cousin. It already happened. The results are in. You are the father. Anyways, lots of people are also getting caught up in the semantics of the whole situation. You know, they're saying stuff like, oh, but incest is a common theme among Japanese media.
What?
Westerners are just ignorant of customs.
Whoa.
And oh, I mean, it's not illegal. It's only like second cousin, so who cares? I, for one, have never seen so many niggas assembled like the Avengers to defend incest of all things. Maybe I am just a filthy Westerner and a tourist for thinking incest is bad, but I didn't know that was a hot take. Sorry, I don't want to fuck my cousin, nigga. I also don't think legality is the issue here. I wouldn't base my morals on what is and isn't legal where I live, but that's a whole different conversation. A lot of people defending this also probably like know nothing of Alex and his story, and they're just arguing for the love of being a family man. I also don't think it was intentional. Maybe it was like a power creep of a mistake due to multiple people working on something they don't know or care that much about with no communication. That feels easier to believe than them consciously assassinating this character. Then you got the people saying, who cares about story in fighting games? First of all, me, nigga. Second of all, even if no one cares,
me too, cuz I'm about to play some games and you know, how can I put this? I don't know, I'm playing them for the story. That's what I'm trying to say to you, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
It's to a point. When the nonsense of a fighting game plot is stuff like, you know, a character dying multiple times, that's cool and all, but when it's something like the first fighting game character to ever impregnate their sister, not that anybody's keeping track of that metric anyway, but for something like this, that it quite literally becomes impossible to ignore. I, for one, I could not fathom something like this happening to my favorite fighting game character. As much as I want Sean back, Capcom, please, bro. This actually reminds me of Asuka's ending in Tekken 5 when they had Jin fall smack bang into his cousin's Babylons. And since then, they've been slowly trying to play it off like, okay, they're not actually cousins. It's more like family friend. If I had a nickel for every time a pair of characters in a fighting game were originally established to be relatives, but the devs try to retcon that later after the relatives do some weird shit.
Introducing click.
Damn it. Okay, my bad. Okay, thank you.
I would have 2 nickels. Why do I have 2 nickels? I just don't understand why it had to be Patricia. Just make up a random woman. It's fiction.
Please,
you
yes.
can do that.
Yeah.
It would still be wholesome as hell seeing Alex marry
A lady at the bar, a lady from the Fight Club, another who, man? Who? Another lady that guy was training, Paul. Tom, sorry. Eesh, man.
Have a child. They didn't have to make Tom and Alex's mom
Tom, it could be another lady Tom was training. But no, you had to make it Patricia.
related. That wasn't even a thing before Street Fighter 6. That serves no other purpose than a fun fact and also an additional layer of questionability to this relationship. I never thought this string of words would ever leave my mouth.
But
incest aside, I still think he's a cool character. He doesn't have anything about his story that warrants real slander outside of this, except for, well, I wasn't gonna say anything originally, but since we're on the topic of Alex, they was calling you racist because Dawson teleported in front of you and you thought he was a mugger and try to fight him. I don't know why a nigga teleport in front of you and the first thing you think is they want your money, but he is heavily inspired by Hulk Hogan. So maybe the racist accusations are too far off. I'll be honest, I never really gave Alex a second thought before this, but I always thought he had an awesome design in 3. I didn't really like his design in 5. His new design in 6 is awesome. After finding out what they did to his story, I literally had to talk about it. I also simultaneously feel terrible. I feel terrible.
I'm sorry. Oh, bro is hurt. I get it, bro. Oh, bro. Hey, man. There are a couple of characters where I have been that pissed to a point where I'm like, I should make a video about this, man. I should. Oh, man.
Terrible for Alex fans. I've also been meaning to make more Street Fighter content as of late, so expect more of that on the way. Shorter video, but that is all for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
Yes, sir. That was a nice video, I'm not gonna lie.